MorganMan Sports Podcast, wherever you may be getting your podcast from. Here on YouTube now, guys. It's crazy that you guys have been killing it here on the YouTube edition of the MorganMan Sports Podcast, and I am very thankful for that, guys. So definitely, I'm going to be treating you to a nice video today. Today is going to be how the Falcons can win the NFC South this 2019-2020 season and potentially make a freaking deep playoff run and potentially Super Bowl with especially Dirk Goddard, Mike Mularkey being back in Atlanta, Coach Dan Quinn being the defensive coordinator and the head coach. Definitely, this is a season where you really need to be excited if you are a Falcons fan, because, not only the coaches are, in the right positions, but the players, they're happy. They've been showing up to mandatory minicamp. No one has been, reportedly out. Of course now minus like Julio Jones, but I mean he showed up and he's coaching, but he ain't like practicing. So I'm not worried about that. He's coaching up the young guns, and I'm very excited about that. Grady Jarrett's doing great. But I will not get into much more further detail about that part right there, guys. I will leave that for a separate video that will be coming out next week. Before, I take a week off from the MorganMan Sports Podcast, kind of like rest up, do whatever I want to, play some video games, get some brand new ideas for the content that I'm going to be producing to you guys. So it's going to be great. It's going to be a great like off season for like a week for me. And definitely I will make an update video probably like the day before I release my first podcast coming back from that following week. So it'll be like the first week of July. So anyways, now we got that out of the way for the few show notes. How the Falcons can win the NFC South. So coming in at number 1, guys, establish the run game. So establishing the run game is something that the Falcons definitely need to work on. And I feel like with Dirk Goddard definitely, he's a ball thrower. And that's great because Matt Ryan is more accurate now than he has ever been. I mean, he's always been accurate, but, he is even more accurate to this day. And I am so stoked about that. But Devontae Freeman and Ito Smith definitely needs those reps. More Freeman than Ito Smith, because Ito Smith is like a backup to Devontae Freeman, and running backs definitely get a ton of workload. But last year, of course, Devontae Freeman only came in for 2 games, if I'm not mistaken, and was injured. And then, of course, Coleman and Ito Smith had to pick up the slack. But where was the slack? Because, not Kyle Shanahan, Steve Sarkisian, I almost forgot his name, just did not run the ball much. And if they did, it was like maybe for like 2-yard gain or something on first down. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. But then towards the end of the season, whenever Steve Sarkisian knew that his job was pretty much just over with, then he started all of a sudden running the ball. And Tevin Coleman was a very great running back. He was more of an outside running back, so that means halfback swing or fullback swing. Where Matt Ryan just tosses it to Tevin Coleman, and he's kind of like running like that right there, and definitely that's like a 10, 15, 20 yard pickup right there. So establishing the run game will definitely be beneficial against a team like Carolina at the most, because Carolina does have a great defensive line, and they can honestly stop the run game. But I feel like if we can establish the run game and get it to where we can open up lanes and against like the Carolina games that we're going to be going up against this season, I definitely have a great feeling that we will win both the away and home games against Carolina. The Saints game, both of those I am concerned about too with the run. as well whenever it comes to Ito Smith and Devontae Freeman. Let Julio be more of a distraction. That is coming in at number 2 right here. Back last year, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was week 10 or 11 against Dallas, where Julio, Matt Ryan, threw to Julio because Julio was the intended target, and I forget who picked Matt Ryan off, but whoever it was, then Julio came in like a safety and, knocked the crap out of him and forced a fumble, and basically making it just incomplete at that form of sense right there. So definitely the Falcons got the ball back. And so really right there, you could use Julio Jones as more of a distraction. Get him red hot, get him a touchdown or two at the beginning of the game, and then you're going to force, say, the Saints, because the Saints are really the most popular team to put like a 2 to 3 man coverage on somebody that is doing extremely well in the passing game. So that being Julio Jones. Get him red hot, get him a touchdown or two, and then after that, kind of slow him down, make him more of a distraction, but still make it look like he is going to be an intended target. He'll be in 2 to 3 man coverage, and while those guys are over there, covering Julio, you got Calvin Ridley over here, Mohamed Sanu over there, and Justin Hardy, if he even makes an appearance in the offense. You got 3 lethal weapons right there to go after, and Calvin Ridley is definitely going to be a monster this year, so I definitely see 2 man coverage on him as well. But Julio is definitely going to be the intended target that I see is going to be in basically 3 man coverage because of how well Julio Jones is. Protecting Matt Ryan, this was definitely a problem throughout all the teams we faced last year, not just in our division, but within our division, really the Saints is the ones who we need to be worried about whenever it comes to this O-line. Matt Ryan, like I said, was definitely sacked a lot, especially during that Thanksgiving game in New Orleans, and I just did not like that, And so with Chris Lindstrom, Caleb McGarry, and James Carpenter, if I'm not mistaken, if that's who is on the offensive line, I cannot remember off the top of my head, guys. But definitely get those 3 people right there. Alex Mack, guarding Matt Ryan. Oh my gosh, dude. Matt Ryan can sit in the pocket for 20 seconds if he needed to find an open receiver or tight end. And I definitely love that right there. So protecting Matt Ryan is definitely going to be a must-be against New Orleans. Carolina Panthers and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm not too worried about that. They did get maybe a sack or 2 on Matt Ryan, but other than that, it was really the New Orleans Saints that really get the most sacks on Matt Ryan. So definitely protecting Matt Ryan against the linebackers on the defensive end is going to be a must-be. A healthy defense, this just goes for all teams that we're going to be facing this year. Not just specifically the NFC South, but for all teams like the Colts, the Vikings, the Seahawks, all the teams that we're facing this year. Healthy defense will be the key. Again, not just specifically in the South, but throughout the whole season. Grady Jarrett, keeping him healthy. Deion Jones, Keanu Neal, Ricardo Allen, just all of them. Keeping them healthy. Make sure they're getting the reps that they need, and give them that rest, because give them that rest is definitely going to make them 100% better than what it was. But I believe, honestly, though, that if you make this defense very healthy this year, I can see this defense honestly being a top 5 and potentially, potentially going on to win the NFC South. Coming in at Number 5, I almost forgot that. And coming at number 5 is spreading the ball. So on offense, yes, this is something that we definitely put a huge spotlight on last year, and I definitely loved it with Sarkisian. I keep forgetting his name, but Sarkisian. Spreading the ball out, not just to a Julio or to a Calvin Ridley. Spread out to Austin Hooper, Justin Hardy, Mohamed Sanu. Make it all around. Don't make it just 2-3 main targets. Spread it all around. And once you spread the ball around, then it opens up more gates for the defense to worry about. And I feel like with going up against a New Orleans Saints and a Carolina Panthers defense, that will make them struggle a lot. Because in our week 4 matchup against the New Orleans Saints in Atlanta, it was just gunslinging just everywhere. But the Falcons definitely made more of an impact in that game than they did in the Thanksgiving game, because they spread the ball around even more, and it was confusing the defense for the New Orleans Saints. They didn't know, all right, well, who's he throwing to now? We don't know. And so they were, trying to figure out, all right, well, I think he's going to throw it to Julio, so let's do 2-man coverage on him, and let's do a 3-man coverage on Ridley. But yet, here's Mohamed Sanu with no coverage, and he's running straight up the hill. Well, not the hill, but, down the field. Number 6 is Takk McKinley goes wild. If you get Takk McKinley to the quarterback, this is going to be a long season for the NFC South. And whenever I mean the South, I mean the Bucks, Panthers, and the Saints. Because if you make Takk really angry like he is right now, he's not angry. He's hungry, guys. He is hungry. He wants to hit you, Drew Brees. He wants to hit you, Cam Newton. He wants to hit you, Jameis Winston. He wants to hit you. He wants to hit all of you. And he wants to hit every quarterback that we face this year. That's it. But more specifically in our division, Brees, Newton, and Winston. You let him get in that open route and get right to the quarterback. Like I said, it's going to be a very long season for the rest of the Saints, Panthers, and the Buccaneers. And number 7 on the list, guys, is trick plays. Okay, and I'm not talking about the Philly special that the Atlanta Falcons did in Week 17 last year against the Bucs. I'm talking about where you have to force the other team to call a timeout. Okay, and so this goes for every team, but in our division right here, guys, I honestly believe you will confuse the living crap out of the Carolina Panthers. Mostly the Saints, yes, but the Carolina Panthers will be a must. Because once the Carolina Panthers read your play, it's over with. They are going to know, okay, well, he's going to run right side or he's going to pass. Change it up. Make the formation and then all of a sudden change it. Okay, and I know I play Madden a lot, and I play it on Veteran, but I change up the plays in competitive mode, and I win almost every single down in Madden. Okay, so if there's a way, which I know there is because, they got the little headsets in their ears, but alright, say you're going to do a halfback up the middle. Okay, I forget what the play is. And, yeah, Mohamed Sanu here. Well, alright, so Mohamed Sanu here, Julio Jones right here. Okay, and you got Devontae Freeman back there. You got that formation lined up. They know, well, they assume, alright, Devontae Freeman, he's just going to run it straight at the middle. That, I know this play, we're going to get him. He's going to gain no yards. Okay, but then in the headset, Dirk Carter comes in saying, alright, do too wide, or something like that. I don't know all the plays I'm into football, but not that into football of knowing the specific plays. All right, but let's just say you go too wide, and that is your Julio and your Mohamed Sanu. And Matt Ryan comes out saying hut, and then he throws to Mohamed Sanu because they're not expecting it. They're expecting Devontae Freeman run up the middle, and that's why them defenders on, let's just say, the Carolina Panthers, they're like, oh my God, I did not know that, go after him, just like that. And then, by that time, Mohamed Sanu or Julio's already 50 yards down the field. So guys, that is all I have for today, but definitely I feel like the Falcons can win the NFC South by, this list I have right here, and I'll have it in the description below for you all to look at it and just let me know what you all think about this list. Do you think the list that I made right here will be the reason why the Falcons would be your 2019-2020 NFC South champions and potentially Super Bowl champions this year? Till then, guys, Morgan, will get you all later. Peace.